Now, what is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I just got done watching The Death of Superman. This is a DC animated film that is obviously a 2018 film, but it wasn't scheduled to come out until like August. Somehow, some way, I was able to see it pretty early. Now, the plot. The plot is, it's basically sort of based on The Death of Superman graphic novel, the comic book that came out in the 90s, the infamous comic book, one of Superman's best-selling comic books of his death and him fighting Doomsday. It's everything that went into that, or should I say part one of that story. Part two will come out next year. What I thought of The Death of Superman is, I enjoyed the movie. I did. Did I love it? Am I over the moon about it? I guess not. But that's not to say that it's bad at all. But this starts with the DC intro. You know the intro that's been starting? I think it started with the Wonder Woman movie. And then it was before the Justice League movie. And now it's before this one. Which is surprising because I thought that that was going to be an intro for their DC cinematic universe, and it was something cool, and it would be in front of their live action movies. But no, I guess it's also going to be in front of their animated movies, or they haven't made enough movies in their cinematic universe for them to want to reuse this intro, so they just tacked it on to this Superman. It was great to see Superman just being Superman. Wow, here's a thought. I'm somebody who's going nuts over the fact that we haven't gotten a sequel, a true sequel to Man of Steel, and I'm itching for a Superman solo movie. So just to get an animated version of it where you see him at the beginning saving people, stopping criminals. He's voiced by Jerry O'Connell, and I think he did a great job not only as Superman but as Clark Kent as well. I like the fact that they made him back with Lois Lane. I say back because, yeah, in the original story, in the original comic book, Superman was with Lois Lane. This one, though, because they've updated it, because they've attached it to their current line of DC animated films, which has a whole bunch of Justice League stories and whatnot, and has had Superman date Wonder Woman, you almost had to retcon a lot of things. You almost had to maneuver a lot of things and configure the relationships to put him back with Lois Lane just to have it fit the Death of Superman story. So I don't know. It makes sense that he's back with Lois. It does. Lois is voiced by Rebecca Romijn, Jerry O'Connell's real-life wife, by the way. So that was cool. And I like the relationship between Clark and Lois. I like that he is struggling with whether or not he wants to tell her that he's Superman. They're about to get married. He's getting her to meet the parents. Like, they're getting to that next level, but he's still cautious about the identity thing. So I like that. It's something very human for Superman to have to deal with. The animation was fine. There was a lot of moments that did work, but then there was also some moments where I thought the animation was a little choppy. I'm being honest. Maybe I'm spoiled by the Disney and Pixar type animation, which are very high level, high budgeted, and these DC animated films are cheaper. But there were certain shots of like the car chase at the beginning where the cars drive, but you see the sides, and there's even people standing there, and they look like stick figures because they're not breathing, they're not moving, there's nothing to them. They look like a painting. While maybe the one car drives up, and it's stuff like that I just have to forgive. I just have to go along with. In fact, I don't think a lot of these Justice League members were in that Death of Superman story, but it still was cool to see people like Green Lantern, people like The Flash, who had some really nice comedic moments, Aquaman, Hawkman, even Martian Manhunter, a lot of great characters. Batman was in there when he had to be. He wasn't in there a lot. But I like even that moment where Flash is making fun of Batman and Batman just sits and stares at him. That's the type of humor that works for Batman. That's the type of humor you have to write for Batman. It pained me to see Ben Affleck making those jokes. Oh, something's definitely bleeding. I didn't want to hear that. Batman would never joke like that, but this is how you make jokes with Batman. Alright, let's get to it. Let's get to the main event. let's get to Superman versus Doomsday. Doomsday was a brute force, was this brick shit house that was all destruction, that was a killing machine. And for some reason, with these DC animated movies, they are willing to go bloody. They are willing to go violence and gore. And there's scenes of Doomsday just punching out pedestrians and citizens and smushing them with cars. And you see the blood, and he's killing people. You never would have saw this 10, 15 years ago in animated movies. So it's cool, don't get me wrong. But they go for it, and you see a lot of Doomsday fighting the Justice League, but they're no match for him. And Superman's the main event. Superman is what you want to see, and the fight does hold up. The fight does live up to the hype of what you want to see from these two characters. In fact, seeing them fight the way that they did, it just made me think, wow, I really wish this was Man of Steel 2. I really wish instead of BVS, instead of what they did there, this was a standalone Superman live-action film where you got to see them go toe-to-toe. I like how it was handled. Rainn Wilson does the voice of Lex Luthor, and he is great for just conniving, all out for himself, every version of Lex that you want to see. If I were to rate this, I would give it the perfect date movie. So guys, let me know in the comments below, did you too see the death of Superman? What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you not care for it? Did it disappoint you if you're a fan of the original? I like the cliffhanger, and I think part 2 is something that I'm really going to be interested in, that I'm really going to want to watch when that comes out next year. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!